Hey everyone, the Collector 27 here, coming at you guys with another awesome action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Amazon exclusive Wolverine, Hugh Jackman Wolverine figure from the Wolverine Origins movie. Let's take a look. Okay, so for accessories, he comes with two interchangeable heads. One is a more angry type of fighting face, where he's really gritting his teeth. And the other is a more neutral, serious head or face. I think they both look very good, and they are very, very well sculpted and painted to the likeness of the actor Hugh Jackman. One thing I will say that I didn't really understand is the fact that he has green eyes. At least on this figure, he does. I'm not sure if that's coming up on camera or not, but he apparently has green eyes. Oh, and that is, seen on both heads. The eyes are this greenish color, which I'm pretty sure that's inaccurate because Hugh Jackman has, I guess, more brown eyes from what we've seen in the movies. He comes with these, I guess, metal adamantium claws. The ones that are supposed to look like his metal claws, which I will talk more about these later in the video. Then he comes with his bone claws, which I think they look pretty good. They look like bones. They're pretty good. The good sculpt. I like them. And I believe this is the second time we've seen bone claws on a Hasbro Marvel Legends Wolverine figure, but this is the first time we're seeing it for a movie Wolverine, as far as I'm concerned. And then he comes with the little dog tags. Obviously, they are not legible. You can't really read them. There's a bit of a warp in mine. Not a big deal though. He didn't have these on all the time, so I'm probably not going to display him with these. Um, Once they're on the figure, they kind of look a little out of scale, but they're made out of this soft, kind of rubbery plastic. It's real bendable, so you're not going to break it or anything like that. Yeah, that's all the accessories he comes with. Okay, so as you can see now, I just have the base body here without any of the hands or the heads put on him. So let's get some of those on. So let's start off with oh, if I can put it on the right side or on the correct side. Um, and we'll start off with the bone claws and the neutral head. So let's see, where's the other bone claw? There we go. There we go. And they snap on pretty easy, and I think they look pretty good. Again, I think the likeness to Hugh Jackman is there. One thing I will say about the figure itself, a couple of the gripes that I have is I feel that the both of the heads are a little bit too big. I don't think Hugh Jackman has this big of a head. Um, I mean, let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that this head is too big for this body? I kind of like to think it is. I think it is a little bit too big for this body. Um, I feel like that's the only thing out of scale, really. Another gripe I have is with the the bone claws, just a little bit. Well, obviously they are a little warped, but that can be fixed or adjusted, and they can be popped out of the sockets in the hand, just like any other Wolverine figure with or Wolverine claws, uh, and they could just be popped back on. I do think that Hasbro went a little bit heavy with the paint on the claws because they are very yellowish. They're supposed to be more like bone claws. I think it's a little bit too yellowish to be bones. I mean, but then again, when have you ever seen your bones outside of your body? Um, so, not a big deal on that. Another thing I will say is that there is this slight kind of shading or yellow type of paint on the wife beater or this tank top, t-shirt, whatever you want to call it, and it's only on the front on this textured part, and then we lose that throughout the rest of the figure, and it's completely white on the back, while there's a slight yellowish tint to it on the front, as if it's been a little dirty or something. I'm not sure if that's being picked up on camera or not, but there is that there. And then as for the denim, I don't think this looks like realistic denim for jeans. Um, it's almost a little bit more camouflage looking with the type of pattern going on here. It's not so denim looking. I don't think I have any other figures that have denim jeans, but I've seen some other figures from Hasbro that look better on the denim portion. And my last and final gripe, I will say, is the Adamantium Claws, or what's supposed to be the metal claws. When I got mine, okay, I'll just say it right away. These are repainted. I painted these this silver color, so that way they would look more metallic. Because when I got them, and yeah, they are still removable. When I got them, they were the color of just the gray plastic that they are sculpted in, and they were not painted. And I know that they're supposed to be because one of my friends, he has one of these figures too. His are painted and they look great. And I've seen some other reviews of some other reviews on this figure from other action figure reviewers, and their claws are painted almost like this type of silver color, but mine weren't. Some of them were, I will say, but it was starting to peel off when I would just switch out the hands. I would touch the claws, and the paint would just peel and flake off. And I don't know if that was just a QC issue on my part or if I just got a defective one. So I didn't want to return it because this guy took forever to come in the mail. I've had him for a while now, a few weeks, but I repainted the claws, and I think that they look pretty good. I mean, they're metallic, so that's nice. So let's get those on there. As much as I like the bone claws, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep the metal adamantium looking claws on him when he is displayed. There we go, and that looks really good. I think that looks really good. I like the way that they're sculpted. These are different claws from the ones that we get with the comic book Wolverine figures. They are a little bit longer. They're a different shape. They're more movie inspired, or they are movie inspired, I should say. And there we go. That looks good. And one last gripe before I move on to the things that I like about the figure is that this head is very, very difficult to get on this body. The more neutral head is easy to pop off and very easy to pop on. As for the angry fighting, Wolverine head, it is extremely difficult to pop on. And I've tried heating it up. I've tried different things. I don't really like it that much just because of the hair. I like the hair on this figure a lot better rather than this little, these hair pieces just right here in the front. I don't know why that's there. I think it kind of takes away from the rest of the sculpt and the paint. But I would like to have an angry Hugh Jackman Wolverine, but it's very, very difficult to get on there. Once you put it on, you don't even hear a pop. It just goes on there, and but you hear a pop when it comes off. So to me, it's a little frustrating. But let's just keep the neutral, serious head on for the rest of the review. One thing I will say that I like, or I really, really love about this figure is the sculpt of the body and the sculpt of the Hugh Jackman heads. But for the body, I will say it is very, very anatomically correct to not just Hugh Jackman, but just to a human. Just because from other figures that we see with Hasbro, normally we see comic book based figures. And normally they are very, very out of proportion to what an actual human would look like. And yes, they are comic based, so they are able to get away with that most of the time. But in this case, just putting his arm straight up, right there. The end of where his fist is, right here, where his knuckles are, is right about a little lower than his crotch area, which is correct. in most cases. Sometimes it could be a little bit shorter, but sometimes Hasbro goes even longer, where their arms are just really, really long. I think that the proportions here are really, really good. Also, considering the amount of articulation that we get here, that we get butterfly joints as well, and that sculpt isn't uh, broken apart too much, in the fact that normally when we get butterfly joints, the shoulders tend to sink in a little bit. These shoulders are very good. They're wide enough to show that this is a muscular person. One thing I also like on it is that the arms actually have this type of like muscle definition to them, where there is a slight vein sculpting throughout, which is accurate because if you've seen Hugh Jackman's Wolverine movies, the dude is very buff. He is a very, very buff guy, and I think this captures his likeness overall very, very well. And that is something I think that Hasbro has done the best on this figure. I think that this is one, for at least for me, design-wise, the way this figure has been designed and sculpted, um, easily one of the top five, or yeah, I'd say top five Marvel Legends from 2020. One of the good things to come out of 2020, right? Um, yeah, I think this figure has been sculpted very well, and I like it a lot. So let's move on to the articulation now that I'm all done talking about my gripes and stuff. Okay, so for articulation, I'm sure you've noticed that, well, let's start at the top of the head. And yeah, I'm sure you've noticed throughout this review that um, this is on a dumbbell joint, and it's not on a disc hinge and a ball joint, which Hasbro normally gives us. They've been doing this recently, especially with their Fox movie X-Men figures. I'm not sure if you can really see it down there, but design-wise, I feel like this ball joint should be switched. The bigger ball joint should be at the bottom, while the smaller ball joint should be at the top, to give it more range of motion. And a good example of that would be any sort of SH Figure Arts figure. So I don't. I have one of those on my shelf right now, but I really don't want to go get it. But no, that's what they normally do. So it should be switched, because if the big one is at the bottom, it gives it more range of motion. Because right now we're only getting about this much of a head tilt going both ways. It doesn't go up at all, really, because this is straight and this is up. It doesn't go up at all, and even if that's as far up as it goes, and it doesn't go down very much, and so that's why it's been limited with that articulation. So you're sacrificing the up and down motion for a side to side head tilt, and so that's probably my only gripe when it comes to the articulation, is that there's not much head movement there, or neck movement, right? And anyway, getting down to the rest of the body, he does have butterfly joints. He has shoulder articulation that will go out about that far. It does a 360 swivel all the way around. He has a bicep swivel, which works really, really good. Double jointed elbows, which are the new pinless joint technology. They are pinless on both sides, so that's nice. No more pins there. And then on both of the hands, it is just an up and down motion at the wrist for both of the sets of hands with both claws. He does have a diaphragm. An ab crunch, and then it goes that far back. It doesn't go too far back, actually, but it does crunch forward quite a bit, which is very nice. Down at the legs, we do get a good bit of motion, because his leg actually kicks out a little bit more than 90 degrees. We do get a thigh swivel, same thing on both sides. Double jointed knees, which he he actually does kick his butt. Look at that. Really good range of motion on the double jointed knees. Now down at the ankles, because it is sculpted to be like a boot, I have a little bit of trouble with this, just because the ankles only move down about that much. They are hindered by this, the bottom of the jeans. There is actually a side-to-side swivel in there that's cut at the top for the boot, so that's nice that we get that added articulation. As for the ankle pivot, it's actually pretty good. It goes out to both sides very, very well, considering that it is kind of hindered by these jeans, by the jean bottoms right there. It doesn't go up very far because of that hindrance, but overall, I would say that the articulation is I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it's very good for what it is, but there could have been some things that could have had some improvement, but I think it's pretty good articulation overall, and it's satisfactory for a Wolverine figure. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show off that I did is that not only did I customize the claws and paint them into these more metallic silver type of look to them, is that although I like the young Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and this Wolverine could be from the X-Men Origins film that Wolverine had, or the Wolverine film, the second one to that takes place over in like Japan with Silver Samurai, which also wasn't that great, but had a lot of cool Wolverine scenes at least. But as much as I like that, I feel again like this head is a little bit too large, and I custom painted this Logan head that's based off of his last film appearance in Logan. I custom painted this entire thing. I tried to match the skin tone as well as possible. I think I got it pretty good. It might be a little bit lighter on the head. And this head is a little bit smaller than the younger Hugh Jackman head. And once I put it on the body, you'll see that it kind of fits a little bit better. Obviously, it's completely hollowed out in there. I got this from Frankensons, and I will have the Instagram of the guy I got this from down in the description below or in the comments somewhere down there. His name is slipping my mind. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I totally forgot what your Instagram handle was. I'm not very good with names. Anyway, but it's totally hollowed out on there, and if you just rest it on there, it's going to be super loose and it's just going to fall out. So what I recommend doing is actually using a little bit of poster putty, blue tack, whatever you want to call it, whatever you have, to kind of, give a little bit of more formation to the peg. And then once you have that, you can just put it on there and it'll stay on there a lot better. It's not going to be loose. But I think that looks better. I think that's a better head size for the Hugh Jackman Wolverine figure. And I've seen some people put, just because Hasbro did make a Logan SDCC exclusive set with an Old Man Logan and Old Charles Xavier. But I didn't get that set. Unfortunately, I would like it because it looked really cool. But, sorry, camera's moving around. There we go. But what I did do is I got this custom resin head. It was all gray before. I painted it entirely, and so I was going to do a separate review on it, but I thought I would just throw it into this review. I painted the eyes, the face, all the hair. I tried to do some shading throughout the hair so that way there's some light gray and dark gray. Everything on here is completely painted. As you can see, the inside, that type of gray, which is a lot different from what the hair is painted, is what the entire head sculpt looked like. It was completely gray. So, anyway, but I think that this head is a lot larger and way too big for this figure. So I think I'm gonna have my Logan displayed like this with the Old Man Hugh Jackman Logan head, and I think that's how I'm gonna have him on my shelf, because at the end of that movie he did wear a tank top. He was a lot more bloodied and gross looking, but he did have that. So I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, and that's exactly how I'm gonna keep it. Now let me guys let me know down in the comments below what you think about this head. Do you think it works? Do you think it looks good? Or do you just like the regular head better? I mean, again, it's everyone's own opinion. I just want to see what you guys think about the paint work that I did on this head. I'm not the best painter in the world. I really struggle with the eyes. That's probably my downfall right there. The eyes are extremely difficult to paint. You have to have one of those really, really small micro paint brushes, which, having a steady hand is, pretty difficult to have. I think my hands tend to shake quite a bit, but I think the eyes came out pretty well. Took a few tries, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you like this head on here better? Should I keep him like this, or should I just keep him with the younger Hasbro made Hugh Jackman head? If you like this review, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Follow my Instagram. It will be in the link not only in my bio, but also in the link of this video down in the description below. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Peace.